The rebirth of the nation of Israel in 1948 is one of the most remarkable events in modern history and holds deep prophetic significance from a biblical standpoint. After nearly 2,000 years of dispersion, the Jewish people returned to their ancestral homeland and re-established a sovereign nation, something no other nation or people group has ever done. To Christians and Bible scholars around the world, this was not just a political or historical event. It was a fulfillment of ancient biblical prophecies and a major sign in God's unfolding plan for humanity. In AD 70, the Roman Empire destroyed Jerusalem and the Second Temple, scattering the Jewish people throughout the world. This began what is known as the diaspora, a nearly 2,000-year exile. During that time, the Jewish people maintained their identity, culture, and faith, despite facing persecution, pogroms, and the horrors of the Holocaust. On May 14, 1948, following the end of British rule under the Mandate for Palestine, David Ben-Gurion, the head of the Jewish Agency, declared the establishment of the State of Israel. That same day, the United States and the Soviet Union recognized the new nation. This was the fulfillment of what many had prayed for and what the prophets had foretold centuries earlier. Numerous Old Testament prophecies predicted the scattering and regathering of Israel. Isaiah 11 verses 11 and 12 says, "And it shall come to pass in that day, that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, from the four corners of the earth." This verse speaks of a second regathering of the Jewish people, not just from Babylon as in Old Testament times, but from every corner of the globe, which aligns with what happened in the years around the year 1948.
Isaiah chapter 66 verse 8 asks, "Shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children." On May 14, 1948, Israel was born in a single day, fulfilling this exact prophecy. The United Nations had voted to partition the land in 1947, and within 24 hours of the British withdrawal, Israel was declared a nation. Ezekiel's vision of the Valley of Dry Bones in Ezekiel chapter 37 verses 1 to 14 is a powerful prophetic image of Israel's restoration. God tells the prophet that the bones represent the whole house of Israel, and they will be brought back to life and returned to their land. In verse 14, God says, "And shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land." This vision mirrors the Jewish people's return to life as a nation after centuries of dryness and hopelessness. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 24 verses 32 to 34, "Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh." Many Bible scholars interpret the fig tree as a symbol of Israel. Its budding is seen as a sign of the end times and the beginning of God's final dealings with mankind before Christ's return. The rebirth of Israel is not just a Jewish event. It has major implications for all of humanity, particularly those who believe in biblical prophecy. Israel's return marked the beginning of the prophetic last days clock. Many Bible teachers believe that key end-time events, like the rise of the Antichrist, the rebuilding of the temple, the Gog and Magog war, and the second coming, can only happen after Israel becomes a nation again. Although the nation was reborn in 1948, Jerusalem remained divided until 1967. In the Six-Day War, Israel reclaimed Jerusalem, fulfilling further prophecy and setting the stage for future events described in Zechariah and Revelation.
To the Church, Israel's rebirth is a wake-up call. It reminds believers that God's word is true and his prophecies are unfolding in real time. It calls for spiritual readiness, evangelism, and anticipation of Christ's return. The miracle of Israel's rebirth is also a testament to God's faithfulness to his covenant. Though Israel was scattered for disobedience, God never abandoned them. In Jeremiah 31, 35-37, God compares his promise to the sun, moon, and stars. If they vanish, then his promise to Israel would fail. But since they remain, so does his covenant with his people.
Israel today continues to be at the center of global politics, media, and conflict. The land is still disputed. Peace is still elusive. But the very existence of Israel is proof that God's hand is moving. Events like the ongoing conflict with surrounding nations, the movement to rebuild the Third Temple, the rise of anti-Semitism, and the alignment of nations as described in Ezekiel chapters 38-39 all point to the unfolding of God's end-time plan. As we watch prophecy being fulfilled before our eyes, We are reminded of Jesus' words in Luke chapter 21 verse 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up, and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. This means we must stay spiritually alert, pray for Israel, proclaim the gospel, and study prophecy with humility and wisdom. The rebirth of Israel in 1948 was not a random geopolitical event. It was a divine act, foreseen by the prophets and fulfilled in our time. It is a loud trumpet blast signaling that God is active, faithful, and in control of history. For believers, it renews confidence in the scriptures and stirs hope for the future. For the world, it's a reminder that God's plans cannot be stopped. Israel is not just a nation. It is a signpost pointing us toward the return of the King.